Hi, I'm Vince Van Patten, commentator for the World Poker Tour.
All right, Vince, you've been with the World Poker Tour since the beginning, but give us a little flashback to what you were doing before you started with the World Poker Tour.
I was an actor. I was in front of the camera for many years. I was a kid actor, and I always worked. And then I went on into my late teens, and I became a professional tennis player. And you know, I was top 25 in the world, and I beat the best and played all around the world and all the majors and all that. Did that for about 10 years. Then I came back after that was all over, because that was very tough, very tiring and grueling and traveling the world. So I was done with that. And I wanted to come back into the acting world, and I did. And I acted again, and I wrote, and I produced some things and directed, and was doing all of that. In fact, I had a movie about poker, because at the same time, I always loved poker. My father taught me to play poker at age 16. No, I'm sorry, about age 13. But I was in his games at age 16. And these were big games back in the San Fernando Valley in California. Anyway, from there, my game progressed. And when I came back from the tennis tour, I basically was playing a lot of poker. And I created many, many games at my house. We would play 4 times a week in very nice games. And it continued from there. I did my acting and my entertainment world and poker at the same time, and was enjoying life. Plus bringing up 2 kids, so being a father. But I played every year in the World Series since the early 90s. In fact, I played with your father, Freddie Deeb, and went to the main event. When there was about 60 players left, he knocked me out. I had a set, and he caught a flush, of course, and he went on to greatness, and I went back to Hollywood. So I think I did that in '98. I think I did it a couple times. And then, of course, the brilliant Steve Lipscomb came along.
So how did that come about? I mean, did Steve approach you and you were with the World Series, or were you looking for work at that time?
I was actually doing movies and stuff and writing and not looking to get, you know, into the poker world, but out of the blue, the brilliant Steve Lipscomb came along with this great idea. Well, we're going to show the cards, and we want you to be the commentator with Mike Sexton. Do you know Mike? He asked me. And I said, yes, I know Mike for years now. I've seen him, I've played against him, and I like Mike.
Vince, this is so exciting. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike. You know, sure, I'd rather be at that final table playing for millions of dollars. But listen, I'm in Las Vegas, and I'm even, so I'm doing just fine.
He goes, well, you two would be a good couple to do this. Would you want to do it? I thought, yeah, why not? You know, it'll probably go 1 or 2 shows, and that's it. Because at the time, poker was like a disease. I mean, people didn't want to get near it. They didn't know what you were talking about when you said, I play poker. You know, it was really out then. But we did the shows. Mike and I did the first show in Vegas. We had some laughs, we had some beers during the show, and lo and behold, it was exciting. And your father, Freddie D, played the first event at the final table, and we did not think it was going to be the hit that it was. It was incredible.
Take me through your first show, because Mike said he was so nervous. Obviously, he was a poker player, and you know, he knew you, but he didn't know much about you. So from an opposite perspective, what was it like for you? First show, yeah, you know who Mike is, you play poker, you're used to being in front of a camera.
You know, it was kind of second nature to do the show. The first show, we were kind of winging it, Mike and I, and we both love sports and gamble on sports, so we kind of know how to do that type of thing. And poker plays like a sport, and Mike was a natural. You know, he had never done a show like this before, but he's got a great voice, and he's excited, and he and I together seemed to have a good rapport. We were having a good time, we were buddies, so it all worked out, and we did have that sort of chemistry together, I think.
What's the biggest change you've seen in the poker world with the poker players, poker on television, over from season 1 when you started through now, especially with the World Poker Tour?
I think the biggest change is really there are no suckers anymore, all right? It is over when there were soft games and soft people. Maybe at the main event still, you'll have some soft spots. That's because you get 8,000 players. But on the World Poker Tour, you're getting the best of the best. They're great. The cash games now are tough. Either that or I've just gotten very bad. But it's not like it used to be. I used to sit down at a poker game, a cash game, and I knew I would win 4 out of 5 times. There was no chance. It didn't matter if you were running bad or whatever. You can manipulate. You can't do that anymore. These guys are so smart. They take it so seriously. So the game is tough, but the good news is anyone can win if you do have that desire. And I believe it's actually better to be an unknown player now because no one knows how you play. You can sit there and disappear. Whereas the players that everyone knows, they're marked. Everyone's seeing how they know how they play. And so it's tougher for the name players, and it's wide open for the rest.
So you've seen a lot of poker, a lot of hands, but I want to know what your most memorable favorite moment is.
I think it was in Bay 101, but I fell out of my chair once, all right? I fell out of the chair because of the I think it was a 2-outer, and that was fun. But besides that, when Phil Hellmuth had a bad beat in one of our final tables, and he basically melted down, had a meltdown, fell to the ground, and then coiled up in that fetal position. That's classic. I laugh all the time at that, and I talked to him the other day about it, and that was fun just talking about it. Phil has a good sense of humor about himself. You know, he's really changed a lot. He's worked on himself. He's the real thing. When he really gets mad, he's really getting mad. He's not doing it for attention, I don't believe. He's just Phil. So he's a great character in poker, and that was a great moment, I think, on the World Poker Tour. Well, you know, we've been going on 11 years now on the World Poker Tour. It doesn't seem like it. It's gone very fast for me, I feel. We've had great times. We've hit the cleanest beaches in the world, swam in the Caribbean, and we've gone through every continent, and still doesn't get boring. It's fascinating stuff. We're having a good time. I think poker's going to get bigger and bigger. I think World Poker Tour, we know, is expanding. So I'm looking forward to another 11 right down the line. I'm up for it.